Yes, the United Nations Agency for the Palestinians it has become a wholly owned subsidiary of the terrorist organization of Hamas and other terrorists. It runs the schools in Gaza, and if you look at what the Gazan children are taught, they are brought up to hate Jews and to want to shoot and to kill and to destroy Israel and to kill Jews.
Welcome to The Debrief, where we talk with the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the headlines they're covering and where the story's going next. I'm Sarah Bedford, and I'm here with Editor-in-Chief Hugo Gurdon. And Hugo, this week, you, as well as the broader editorial board, wrote about how decency sort of calls for the resumption of hostilities in Gaza as of this current taping that hasn't happened. What is the argument for that? The
argument is that a ceasefire is what Hamas and Hamas supporters want in order to prevent Hamas from being eradicated from government in Gaza. A ceasefire serves only Hamas. What it does is allow Hamas to stay in place. After the atrocities of the pogrom on October the 7th, it became perfectly clear both to the Israeli government and to, I think, decent people all around the world that the only way forward towards any kind of a peace was to eliminate Hamas in Gaza. And obviously Israel has waged war against Hamas, and it's done all that it can to avoid civilian casualties. But because Hamas puts civilians in the way and indeed operates militarily out of civilian centers, there have been a lot of civilian casualties. That has allowed the Hamas and frankly the terrorist supporters, of whom there are many in the Western world and in the United States, to argue that the civilian casualties are entirely unacceptable, that Israel is committing genocide, and therefore there should be a ceasefire. The unspoken purpose of that is to prevent Hamas from being destroyed and eliminated. So all decent people should want Hamas, which is a terrorist organization beyond peradventure, eliminated, so that there is the possibility, it's a great challenge, but the possibility of peaceful coexistence between the two peoples.
The UN Relief and Works Agency, it's the UN's arm in Palestine, has a lot of support from the West, from the United States too, but runs schools that are putting out children who are brought up to hate Jews. Talk about that.
Yes, the United Nations Agency for the Palestinians it has become a wholly owned subsidiary of the terrorist organization of Hamas and other terrorists. It runs the schools in Gaza, and if you look at what the Gazan children are taught, they are brought up to hate Jews and to want to shoot and to kill and to destroy Israel and to kill Jews. The agency has been complicit in the taking of hostages. It seems perfectly clear that it has known all along about hostages going into the hospitals. There are various ways in which it is unique. It has not worked in order to create peace. It has worked on the side of Palestinians who want to eradicate Israel, who want to commit genocide. And there really needs to be reform of that agency and reform of the United Nations. And obviously, the United States has the ability to do that, since it's the principal funder of the United Nations.
And finally, do you see the Biden administration, now that we're going on 2 months out from this conflict, starting to waver in its support for Israel to appease the faction of its party that is, quite frankly, anti-Israel?
Yes, sadly we do. The Biden administration has been pretty good but was better immediately after the October 6th massacres. It stated very clearly, and the president stated clearly, the right of Israel to defend itself, and defending itself properly means the destruction of Hamas. But Hamas calculated, I think fairly accurately, that after a while, the horror that the world felt of the massacres would gradually wane as Palestinian casualties, which Hamas wanted, grew. And unfortunately, the Biden administration and the president himself are showing signs of weakening and wanting to appease that left flank of their own. Obviously, there isn't a person who votes, or rather who takes part in these pro-Hamas demonstrations, who is a conservative or on the right. They're on the left. That's the principal source of mass anti-Semitism is on the left. And so Biden and the Democrats want not to lose the adherence of some of those people, or any of those people if they can avoid it. So there is sign of appeasement, and there is sign of them buckling to left-wing and pressure to force Israel or twist Israel's arm so that it doesn't actually go in and eradicate Hamas, but allows Hamas to stay in power through a permanent ceasefire.
Well, Hugo, thank you so much for being here today. You can get more writing from Hugo and the rest of the commentary team at washingtonexaminer.com.